It's time for the One Bar and Lupica Show, bringing you anything and everything Minnesota Vikings. Welcome to professional football.
All right, welcome back to another episode of One Bar and Lupigus. We are talking anything and everything purple as usual. Today, a little bit different. We're going to be doing something different this year where every week we bring in the opponent. We bring in a top dog YouTuber on the opponent. We're going to be calling this SKOL'ing with the enemy because we are not very original. Today, what better way to kick this off than with the Packers, of course, week one with Bass from Basaraski Productions and the Green Bay Packers. I got it right.
Yes, you did. How's it going, everyone? Thanks for having me on One Bar.
Yeah, it's fantastic to have you. Check him out. We'll have links down in the description. He's got quite the following. He is the real deal. Godfather 2 said it best. Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. So we're going to pick his brain a little bit. It's easy for us to just dive in and say why we don't like the Packers. He's going to convince us otherwise. So let's just get into this. For us, the Vikings, our absolute rival, always the Packers. It's easy.
Always.
It's not even close. For Packers, it seems like it's a little bit of a mix between the Bears and the Vikings. I want to get your take on this. Which team that you lose to actually keeps you up at night?
I would go ahead and say the Vikings currently. The Bears, I don't know. It's something, and don't take offense to this, but something about the Vikings fans irks me, and it just keeps me up, and they just keep coming at you. They'll just keep being the snarky one-liners at you, and it's just something about it.
Does it have anything to do with the SKOL chant?
A little bit, because it's copied. Because it's copied.
I'm just gonna say, what is your thoughts on the SKOL kit? I mean, all of a sudden, Lupigus, myself, we will admit, all of a sudden the SKOL chant seems very forced. All of a sudden it just came out of nowhere. So it's good to get your take on that because I figured you probably didn't like it.
Yeah, for what it is, it's cool. But if I don't know. It seems a little gimmicky to me.
Worse than Go Pack Go?
No, come on, man. Bang on the drums all day by Con Rundigan. Come on, man.
Well, I'm actually glad that you said the Vikings on this because it just makes it that much better. I mean, the Bears are kind of like that wounded puppy now. They got Trubisky as their starting quarterback, so it's probably not even that fun.
And what's the fourth team in the division? I forget. Lions. No, it also has to do with Brett Favre. It ultimately it does.
Absolutely. All right, let's get into this. So Packers 13-3 last year, one game away from the Super Bowl. Very, very solid squad. It's been a crazy offseason. Usually we get to see preseason games. You get to maybe see training camp front and center. We're not seeing any of that, so we got to look strictly off of what's on paper. Are the Packers better or worse than 2019?
I'd say record-wise, I'm gonna say worse because it's hard to consistently be a 13-3 team. I think they're gonna be smoother, but I don't think they're gonna get away with some of the things they did. A couple Lions games last year probably shouldn't have won. Some other games, but I've been saying this all offseason, and what I've thought is probably around 11-5 mark, in my opinion.
All right, that's fair. I can't knock you. You guys took the North last year. Let's look at one thing: draft class. Yes, it happened months ago. It's easy for Vikings fans to look at any Packer draft, whether it was good or not, and just say, wow, that was pure shit. But honestly, I mean, when you look at it, there was some surprising picks. I would like to get your take on how you felt about that draft.
So I'm a realistic fan. A lot of people like to just go off a hinge and just be crazy about it. Oh, why the hell would they draft Jordan Love? Why did they draft a running back? They have Aaron Jones, that sort of thing. I'm realistic. I like to look towards the future. Now, they didn't get a lot of draft picks that are great for right now in terms of needs, like right now, but I think Jordan Love's a solid pick. Aaron Rodgers turned 37. A.J. Dillon is – I love him. I'm very high on A.J. Dillon. Aaron Jones, just like Dalvin Cook, is on the last year of his deal. And the Packers don't have that much cap room for next year. They also have David Bakhtiari on the end of a deal, and then Kevin King and Corey Linsley. So the A.J. Dillon pick I really like. The Jordan Love I understand. And then at third, that H-back type of player is a little weird in Dagara, but if he turns anything like Kyle Juszczyk, that's a home run in my opinion for what Matt LaFleur wants to run in this offense.
All right. That's a good twist. That the third round one was the surprising one for me, but hey.
I would have been happier if they got him in the 4th or the 5th, but I'm not a scout.
Well, with AJ Dillon, I mean, I know, that was probably about a round early, maybe not. But what scares me most about him is Eddie Lacy was that big old bruiser, and he ripped the Vikings every time he played us. So I'm not a big fan of that pick, mostly because I'm scared.
You can ask Robert Blant about that.
So the Vikings have our issues. We got offensive line issues. We got young corners. Yes, we have Adam Thielen, but behind him, we got some very, unproven wide receivers. When it comes to the Packers, what part of that roster scares the shit out of you heading into 2020?
So the normal answer, which a lot of people would say, would be wide receiver, but I'm going to go on the opposite end, and I'm going to say defensive line, because you have Kenny Clark, which is a monster. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows what Kenny Clark will bring to the field. But after him, you have a lot of questions. Dean Lowry got a 3-year contract, has played like shit since then. Tyler Lancaster, pretty much a depth player, hasn't really flashed much. We have last year's, I forget what draft round or what round it was, but Kingsley Keke, I think he's a 5th rounder or 6th rounder. He has been showing some promise in training camp, which is good. And then you have Montravius Adams, who was, I think, a 3rd round 2 years ago, who's done nothing either. So I think there's a lot of holes in that defensive line, and I think that's why the Packers' run game broke down more and more as the season went on.
God, forgot about Adams. I wanted that guy at Auburn. He was a monster.
Yeah. In Auburn, yeah.
Still time. He's a young
There
buck.
is still time, but I've said it a couple of videos I posted back. This is a make or break year for him. It's got to be, because if he doesn't do anything this year, Kiki's going to take that over.
So leading into Sunday, looking at it from your side, what is your biggest concern at playing the Vikings?
So originally I'd say pass rush, but with Danielle Hunter, which he's an animal, him being out, I thank God never want to see anyone injured. But
hey, you're welcome.
Yeah,
It's a gift.
but so without Hunter being in there, I would say the running tack of Cook and Madison, because there's a 2-headed monster there, and it relays right back into what I just said. The D-line scares the hell out of me. And Cook is a monster. He didn't play in the second game against Green Bay, but in the first one, 154 touchdown, and that's in 20 carries. So, he can rip through the Packers defense, and I think, if you get him hot going strong in the beginning, he will.
All right, I'm gonna give you a name to be scared of. It's Ifeadi Odenigbo. It's gonna happen.
Yeah. I ain't repeating that.
All right. As far as matchup wise, there's going to be some key matchups going on. Devontae Adams against our young corners. Aaron Jones had some very, very good games against the Vikings last year. What do you feel is going to be the most important matchup on Sunday?
So I'll go ahead and say Devontae Adams, because a lot of your corners on your current roster have very, very limited snaps against Devontae. Your main guy that pretty much followed him around the field, if I'm not correct, was Xavier Rhodes. You don't have him anymore. Devontae is, in my opinion, the best route runner in the game. So if you have these young corners, I don't think they're ready to see his release package and what he can do. Now, if I were to go to an option B, it would stem back from what I was saying with the run game, and I'm talking on both sides, because Aaron Jones, I think, is going to have a good game against Minnesota. In the 2 games last year, Aaron Jones put up a 270, 3 touchdowns on 46 carries. That's like 6 yards a carry. And Minnesota's run defense is without Linval and Danielle Hunter, who were really good run defenders, and Ngakoue is not that.
Yeah, I'm personally, what scares the crap out of me is last year. I mean, Kenny Clark owned Bradbury.
Yeah, that's another
Bradbury, one. Just a young pup, and he still is. So that's very concerning to me.
Yeah, that's a big one too. That's Kenny Clark might have another field day on that one.
Yeah, that guy is he's an underrated guy, man.
I love how humble he is. You never hear him talking, like, ever.
Zadarius Smith, you hear him talking
always.
I mean, I don't watch a ton of Packers game, obviously the Vikings ones, but Zadarius Smith, even though that was his first year last year, boy, he did not win the hearts of Vikings fans, but he earned it. He did earn it.
Yeah, he's an animal, and he led the league in pressures. I think and you can't. Would you agree that he is snubbed from a lot of stuff? Pro Bowl, All Pro. Would you agree on that?
Yeah, if you agree that Eric Kendricks is snubbed.
I would agree. He's a great middle linebacker. I think he's one of the best cover backers and all around backers in the league.
Yeah, we'll take that. So underrated, snubbed. What Packer could be sneaky not only this Sunday but for the year? Who's not getting the love in a couple of weeks? Everyone's gonna be like, holy shit, he's pretty damn good.
Do you want offense or defense or both?
I want both.
You want both. Okay. I'm going to start on the offense. And I wouldn't say this is going to be for the entire year, but early on, it's going to be Robert Tonyan, big old Bob Tonyan, because a lot of people are thinking Jay Sternberger is going to start at tight end, but Aaron time and time again has spoken his love for Bob Tonyan. And I think he's going to see most of the snaps on Sunday. He shows a lot of good first hit blocking. He has good after the catch abilities. He's all around a good tight end. They have Mercedes Lewis, who's pretty much another lineman. And then they have the H-back they drafted in DeGuara. So I see Tonyan starting in the first slot this Sunday. So that might surprise some people. And who knows, he might have a decent game with a touchdown and some yards. On to defense, it's Chant and Sullivan. Tremont Williams isn't on the team anymore, and Chant and Sullivan is the starting nickel corner, and a lot of people are doubting him, and he had a really nice year last year. So I think he's going to continue on with that and continue to build on his game.
Wow, nice. You bring up Jay Sternberger. Got to ask about him. I actually had him as the final question just because I loved that dude coming out of college. I actually wanted the Vikings, even as early as round 2, I want to look him. Luckily, we got Herb Smith.
Herb Smith is a monster. So.
Which I'm very excited about. But what the hell? What's with Sternberger? Why is he not? I mean, it's not like you guys are loaded at tight end.
Jimmy Graham. So last year, Jimmy Graham was a vulture. He just stole all those snaps. And Sternberger was more so just kind of learning into the system. So when you're a receiver or a tight end with the Packers, like, you don't get much volume no matter what. If you're a rookie, you could be a first round, which they really never drafted. Second round, Cobb didn't get crazy much volume in 2011 other than some kick returns and then some passes, and he was like the 5th string or 4th string receiver. But Sternberger does have a lot of promise. And I said Tonyan as the beginning because I think he has the most trust with Aaron right now. But I think as time goes on, Sternberger should steal that first string role.
All right. One guy I was talking up on a previous episode with Lupagus was Alan Lazard. Am I crazy to think that he is just kind of this sneaky dude? I mean, he's got that big old body. He's actually pretty fast. My worry this Sunday is the Vikings are just putting all their chips in on Adams, putting Anthony Harris on him, helping out those young corners, and all of a sudden Alan Lazard rips us up for 8 catches for 110 yards and a touchdown. Am I crazy? You're
not crazy. I'm really high on, everyone around here calls him Alien Lizard. No, I've been extremely high on him in the offseason, and like you said, you guys have the best safety duo in the league. So if you're putting all your pawns over on Devontae, you do have to be careful about Alan Lazard.
All right, what's the biggest key to the Packers getting a W in Minnesota this weekend?
Run game. Aaron Jones, just like last year, feed Aaron Jones and then play off of that, and stopping Cook, definitely. Definitely. If they could stop Cook, like, I think they should come out with a dub there.
So even though it's only week 1, it's easy to say the season is not lost in week 1, 2, 3, whatever. It's pretty rare you get a Packers right off the bat week 1, a very tough divisional game. It's going to be a weird game, no doubt. Like I said, it's almost like this is their preseason / opener. It's just going to be strange, but how big of a game is this for the NFC North, and how much are you putting on this game?
I wouldn't put a crazy amount on it. Does it matter? Of course. I mean, the Packers were undefeated in NFC North last year, so that means a lot. But you don't know what's going to happen. Special teams definitely going to be very sloppy. Aaron Rodgers was on the Pat McAfee show yesterday saying that, but he said, offense and defense should still run how they should. It's not going to be like watching a preseason week 2 game where there's flags and flags and flags and flags. These guys are professionals. But week 1, man, a team can change so much. And that's just saying from week 1 to week 8. Now, week 1 to week 16 and 17, a team can change so much. So it definitely means something. It always will, no matter what week it is against the Vikings, the Bears, and the Lions. But I don't think it's that crazy much weight.
I'm on the opposite end of things.
Really?
You guys swept us last year. We need to start this thing off with a bang. I don't care if it's week 1. I'm putting a lot on this game, and to get off on the right foot, the Danielle Hunter thing was definitely a dagger. That does not help our cause, but I'm really hoping for this win. If we lose, I will be up probably till about 2:30, fiddling my thumbs.
Really?
Not happy with life.
Well, I feel like I would be too, because I feel like this offseason has been so weird. It was just last week. I'm sitting here and I'm like, holy shit, the NFL season is a week away, and it doesn't feel like it to me. I don't know if you were the same way. You felt the same way?
Absolutely.
it's such a weird situation we're in that it just
Yeah.
it doesn't feel right. Like, but then again, in 2 hours we have a game. You know.
Yeah, I can't wait. I
It's
can't
wild.
wait.
It's wild. I'm very excited for the season. I'm hoping, I'm praying it stays. You know, you don't know. But
Well, honestly, I didn't even think it was going to happen. I mean, they were talking about everything was showing, oh yeah, and I'm just waiting for something to happen.
yeah,
But shit, it's going down. We'll see. Hopefully it lasts.
Yeah, I know. I hope it does too. The NBA's been doing a good job, but it's a little easier to manage. But NHL's been doing good too. I'm just hoping, you know, if it takes, you know, pumping crowd noise, that's fine. Which another thing, what's your opinion on that with Minnesota and their stadium? Because that's big. That was one of the big things about Green Bay was going into there, and Aaron always was like, you know, he couldn't hear anything, and he's pretty much running a silent count the whole time. I don't think he's going to have to this Sunday.
No, it's going to be extremely strange. It really hurts the Vikings. It's going to hurt anybody that isn't having fans. But especially this one, it's just going to be weird. It's going to be very strange to watch.
Yeah, because I always had that thought in the back of my mind. Every time the Packers played the Vikings in Minnesota, I was like, oh, this is going to be a tough one. Because I know Aaron goes in there and he always just looks pissed. Like he just looks like upset because he can't hear anything. He's running a silent count. He can't run his snap count the way he wants to, which is really one of the deadliest in the game in terms of drawing people off sides. So I think that is going to play a big role.
Yeah, that will be big. Let's wrap this thing up. I just got a couple quickies for you. Sternberger, you already stole that one from me. But if you could take any Viking current roster, put them in a Packers uniform instantly, which one are you taking?
Danielle Hunter.
Damn it!
Can't have enough pass rush. Don't care how many pass rushers you have. Add more.
Yeah, I figured that would be your answer. Last one. Who will be the Packers starting quarterback next year?
Aaron Rodgers. He'll be there until 2023, and that's my opinion. That's the way the cap is. That's in my opinion, the way the cap is foreseeing the future. But hey, who knows? It's the NFL.
Follow up to that one. Do you feel he's going to come out more pissed off this year to prove everybody wrong, or do you think he's just? I mean, what's that connection like with the coach right now?
So I think a lot of people are always acting like Aaron has to be pissed off, and if you watch any of his like interviews that not a lot of many people watch, he is never like that type of guy. Does he have a chip on his shoulder? Yes, because, you know, he was drafted late in 2005, but he kind of just runs through his motions every year. He doesn't need outside motivation at this point in his career. He's going to come in, work his ass off, and be Aaron Rodgers. Was he annoyed probably that they drafted Jordan Love over, say, you know, a receiver? Sure. He's going on record saying that he wasn't pleased by it, but it's not something he's going to hold as a grudge and not help Jordan Love. He's been actually helping Jordan Love a lot in this training camp. And I don't think there's a single issue with him and Matt LaFleur.
Yeah, I hope he does stick around. It's great. We went from Favre to Rodgers. It's been fantastic. I mean, those were two of the best guys to actually beat. There's nothing better than beating Aaron Rodgers. But at this point, you know, you just got to, as a Vikings fan, as painful as it is, you just got to respect the guy. You got to respect everything he's done. Zadarius Smith passed him up as far as I'm concerned last year is the guy I just really do not like on the Packers.
Yeah, there's always one of them, man. Like, I think Anthony Barr is just, you know.
Oh, of course. Well, you got good reason not to like Anthony Barr.
There's always one, man. You can't like the whole rival team. You can like some players.
Oh yeah, there's multiple. There's
a lot of them, like the guys you have like extreme respect for, like Harry Smith. Like, of course, you know.
Nope, that's good. I'm assuming you were gonna. I don't want to put you on the spot. Are you gonna do a prediction on your channel? This, or do you got a prediction?
As of like the Packers, what do you mean? Like for this
Sunday?
We'll see. I mean, I'm not the type to sit here and I don't like to give prediction scores. I don't know why. I don't know if I'm superstitious. I don't know.
I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to come down to the last one or two possessions. Hopefully it's not one of those games where the Vikings are up by 3. Rodgers has the ball with $1:30 left. We know how that ends.
Never want that.
I would rather get blown out than have that happen. We will see. It's going to be a good game. Looking forward to it. Bass, appreciate you joining in. First episode of SKOL'ing with the Enemy. It was great to have you. We'll have all your links down in the description. Basaraski Productions, check them out. Great to have you, and look forward to a good game on Sunday.
Thanks for having me, and go Pack Go.
Oh, no.